Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I'm going to wait and have people hop on. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you who I am. My name is Raven Woods, and I am the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks the IEP. I help parents gain the knowledge and confidence to truly become the CEO of their IEP meeting and rock it and get things done. So today is Monday's tip of the week. We do this every single week. If you are new to my page, please post a 1 below. If you are an oldie but goodie, please post a 2 below and who you are, where you're from, and all that fun stuff. Okay. So if you're new to the page, 1 below, who you are, your name, where you're from, anything about your child that you want to add. And if you're an oldie but goodie, post a 2 below, say hello, make everybody welcome. You know how everything goes and the drill. So with that said, today we're going to talk about, because I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys, and yes, the answer is yes. I am starting the text messaging service. It's actually being put on my website now, and will be active later on this week. But what a lot of parents have actually done, because it is trackable, is paid me through Venmo. So for text messages a month is $20 and 8 is $40. So if you're interested, PM me and we can get that set up if it's before everything's on the website. So in the meantime, you're welcome to Venmo me and we can talk about that later. So just PM me if you're interested, because I know a lot of you have asked when that was starting, and you've PM'd me with your questions, right? So with that said, tonight we are going to talk about those freaking damn emails that we get. Okay, you message the director of special education, or you message the team, including the director of special education. Hopefully you're doing that, or assistant director of special education. Either, it really doesn't matter. But bottom line, those freaking emails are a royal pain in the ass, right? I'm just going to keep it real, because they piss me off. They piss you off. I've gotten messages from you guys, not only today, but throughout the week. And so we're going to address that today. Okay. I did want to say, I am so freaking excited. Did you guys see that picture where I am going on Autism Live? I just feel completely honored that they asked me to be on their show. And thank you to them, Autism Live, that they, number one, asked me. Number two, they feel that I'm an expert. And number three, I'm just excited, because honestly, it gets out there the fact that parents can be supported, and that the IEP is not an end all be all, and we just have to accept what the school systems say, and we feel like a failure and overwhelmed and depressed and have anxiety and just feel like we just don't know what to do or even where to get started. So I love the fact that it's getting out there more, and that people really are interested in really helping their kids get what's needed and appropriate for them, and to fight for that. So I'm huge on that. Fight for your kids, guys. You got to fight for your kids. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So with that said, we're going to get started. So if you want to post any kind of questions that you have, post them below. And I will try to get to questions after this. But just to FYI, after this, I do a fun watch party over on my group. So how that works is I post this video that I'm doing live right now, and we do a watch party where I watch it with my group, and I actually can pop on live so that they see me just to say hello. But then I'm there and not talking, literally live. So I'm able to answer questions like right then in live time. Does that make sense? So if you're not part of the group, hop over to Autism Mama Rocks IEP group and join the group to get some of the freebies, funbies, question and answer sessions that I do on Tuesdays, all that goes with the group. So with that said, we're going to talk about those damn emails. So anybody received those emails? Hi, Carol. How are you? I'm just going to say hi to people real quick. Michelle, Keela. Wow, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a while. Then Carol, Joy, Keela's back. Okay, she said congrats. Now, if we only pay you live screen our IEP meeting, we'll pull. You're funny. Yeah. So I mean, yes, people have asked. Yes, I do travel to go to people's IEP meetings. But honestly, guys, like I've said, I'm really proactive in teaching you how to rock it yourself and really become the CEO of your IEP meeting. Because in all honesty, you have it in you to do just like I can. So I would prefer, even though I will travel and go to an IEP meeting with people and do and have on my schedule to do, I really love teaching the fact that you guys can do it yourself and you have it in you. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to have anxiety, and I can walk you through it. So, with that said, emails. Okay, so say you send an email, all right, and you are requesting that. Here, I'm just going to go back to the email that a friend of mine sent me. She said she sent an email to her son's school in reference to progress reports, requesting that progress reports be sent to her on a monthly basis. And progress reports per idea are required. However, they're required to be equal to a gen ed student, a typical student, okay, that doesn't have any special needs. All right. So, what is that? That's quarterly. And that's when they get their report cards. Isn't it quarterly, every 12 weeks, something like that? Skylar actually doesn't get report cards, and my other two are grown. They're 23 and 19. So I think it's every 3 months, 4 months that kids get report cards. So technically speaking, per idea, the school system only has to provide progress reports to you at that time. Okay. So when they do parent teacher conferences, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Well, there's a difference though when you have a child with a special need, and based off their impact of disability, more progress reports are needed. Okay, do you hear what I'm saying? So, what I'm saying is, per idea, it states that you will get progress reports or responses from the team as far as how your child is doing on a 12-week quarterly basis kind of thing, whatever it is when they get report cards, just like it is with typical children. Again, however, hear me, if your child's impact of disability necessitates the fact that more things are needed, then it can be given to you more. Okay? Here is the key thing. Any parent who has a child with special needs, okay, when you go into your IEP team meeting, you want to approach them in a way that they feel comfortable and that you're not going to put them on the attack or on the defensive. Okay. You may hate them with a passion, but you got to play the game right. And I don't mean that in a negative way, in the sense of there's school systems out there that are amazing. Okay. But I'm sorry to say the truth and the fact is there are school systems out there that totally and utterly suck and do not know the laws. They don't implement the laws and go off their policy and their one size fits all strategy, because the reason they do that is because they're uncomfortable doing what the law states, because they in fact don't know it themselves. Okay. So we have to teach them and we have to inform them. Now, some school systems know their stuff and they'll just fight you until they realize, oh, she knows her stuff. She's going to be a royal pain in our butt. So we need to kind of work towards getting her off our back. Okay. And I'm going to get there in a second. So we're dealing with a school system at this moment that does not know the laws, that wants to come back with a rebuttal of, oh, this school system actually said, we don't do that. We don't provide monthly progress reports, teacher reports. We provide progress reporting on IEP goals when report cards are given to our families. Okay, just like I said, teacher report cards are completed right before annual review meetings because they are used to create IEP the IEP along with other data. And then she gave this parent a link for clarity. Okay. So again, if your child needs to have, or you need to have progress reports more so, why? Okay. I do. I get weekly reports, and I'm going to explain how I get this. So every week in my IEP, it states that all service providers, that's the reading specialist, therapist, that's OT, that's PT. So those of you who don't know, that's occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and dance therapy. Skylar gets all of that. So all of them, they have to email me by Friday of every week. Okay. Just a simple email that says, hey, Raven, Skylar did da 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 this week. She's doing well with this. She's struggling with this, et cetera, et cetera. So it updates me on how she's doing. Okay. Schools should not have an issue with that. There's no problem with that. It's not any extra work on their part to take 2 seconds to write a 2-sentence email. Okay. And on top of that, I provide you with a communication sheet. All right. That literally has everything you possibly need. So you get one, it's $2.97, guys. Okay. It's cheap as hell. All right. But let me tell you what it has. It has where everything that your child needs is in there. But then I also give you an extra one that you can edit and make your own. Okay. So if your child doesn't get ABA or isn't in math or science or English or language arts or wears glasses, I even have where you check glasses or doesn't have glasses, that they went to school with glasses, that they came home with the glasses. Okay. Literally everything is in there so that you know exactly how your child's day went, which is important. Okay. Attendance and one-on-ones are not allowed to fill out that communication sheet. The only person that is required to fill out that communication sheet is the person doing that activity or that class or that subject. Okay. So math does math, science does science, English does English, language arts, reading does reading, speech does speech. Make sense? All right. So then you get a daily communication on how your child is doing. And if you're providing the school with something that's literally dummy proof, here, check this off. Give me 5 words of how my child did that day. All right. There's even one that I provide for you on there where they can enter behavior. Okay. If your child's acting out, or if they had a bad day, if they had a meltdown, if they had sensory issues, etc. These are important things for you to know on a daily basis. Now, here's where you have some okay, is say you're getting emails or communication that says your child's being disruptive, or say your child is struggling in subjects, or say that there's some sort of issue along the line with communication in general, because by law, there has to be good communication between you and the IEP team. And that is not on a quarterly basis. That is always, okay? If there's anything that you want to know by law, you have a right to know it, okay? Someone asked me today, and I'm going to get back to emails in just a second, but this has something to do with it. Someone asked me today if on my group page, if requesting your scholastic record of your child would put the school on the defensive, basically piss them off. It could, but it shouldn't. Okay. If they're going to get defensive because you asked for your child's records, then that's on them. Parents need to stop. You need to stop worrying about how the school feels. All right. You need to stop thinking about the fact that they may get mad, or that, oh, what if they retaliate? What if my child suffers? That's not going to happen. I can tell you the percentage of that happening is so little. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying the percentage of it happening is so small that I tell you, don't worry about it. Okay? Don't worry about it. What you need to worry more about is that your IEP is being implemented, that you're being informed of how your child's doing, okay? That you receive progress reports more than quarterly. These are children with disabilities. You need to know more than once every 4 months, even though I suggest you have your IEPs once every 4 months, okay? You need to know more than that what is going on. So this parent, which I'm going to help her, asking for a progress report on a monthly basis. Are you kidding me? When the child is having issues, that there's issues going on that the parent has voiced and said to them, and they want to just come back with, oh, we just do that on a quarterly basis, when it's more needed and appropriate for that child's parent and for the child to have more frequent communication. Okay. Communication is an idea, and it's very important between team and parent. I encourage parents to try to have a respectable relationship with their team, but sometimes that's not possible. You definitely do not want to be their best friend. And the more trust you possibly put into them, the more you're creating an issue for yourself in the long run, where when you finally want to jump on them for something or something goes wrong, then they have so much on you or what you've delivered to them or all the things in your bag you've thrown out and given to them that you have nothing else to base anything on because they know everything. Okay. And so you need to be very smart and strategic in how you approach the team. However, you want to be cordial, you want to be polite, you want to be as nice as possible. But bottom line, you just need to be respectable and direct. That's it. Okay. We're not friends. Remember, you're not friends. It's a business relationship. Okay. You have to be in a relationship to get something done. Okay. And what needs to be done is the provision of your child being given and provided what's needed and appropriate. Bottom line, that's it. Okay. So when you get emails in reference to something that's completely reasonable, you need to not stop. You don't just say, oh, well, this is what the school came back with. Okay, write another email and say, I'd like to have an IEP meeting. They have to schedule the IEP meeting within 30 days. You go into that IEP meeting, you prep, you have everything together and organized. Okay. And everything that you're basing off your request. So, for example, if part of your request to have more frequent weekly, daily, monthly progress reports is because your child's not doing well, or you're questioning what's going on with your child and their mastery, and the school's saying this, and you're thinking this, and you're testing your child, and something's not working out, something's not making sense. Your gut tells you something's wrong. Okay. Then you have a right to have more frequent progress reports. They cannot just say, oh, we'll give it to you on a quarterly basis. If there's a need that states, hey, my child's impact of disability requires more frequent communication because of 1, 2, 3. So you, the parent, because I don't know your situation, have to come up with 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it's important to have your stuff together. Okay. Be organized, have a 3-ring binder, get your dividers like we all had in high school, and make it IEPs, evaluations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Make sense? Emails. Okay. Emails are huge. If it's not in writing, it never happened. Okay. If it's not on recording, it never happened. Okay. So it's very important to not stop because you requested something within your right or had very good reason to request based off impact of disability. Okay. So a no does not constitute a no. Okay. That is what that's a gatekeeper. Okay. That's what I call a gatekeeper. Gatekeepers are in every team, and gatekeepers basically are the people that are trained and taught to say no. They're in every IEP meeting. So try to go to your next IEP meeting and figure out who the gatekeeper is. All right. I challenge you on that. All right. There's a gatekeeper in every IEP meeting. Their job is to say no. Your job is to prove why their no doesn't matter. Okay. So that's your job. So I see the questions coming in. I got you. I promise. So that is the tip of the week. Okay. You send an email. The email comes back, and the email is based off something that is simple as a progress report being given to you on a monthly basis. That's ridiculous that the team said no, or the director said no. That's crazy, especially when this child actually has a need, and a need where the parent needs to know information. Okay. So just hypothetically say you request reading communication because your child is not progressing as they should, or not progressing at all, or the reading specialist is saying they're progressing, they're doing great, and then you're reading with your child and you're seeing quite obviously that what that reading specialist is saying is not accurate. It's up to us to test what is being given to us. Never, ever, ever take someone's word for it. Okay. I'm really big on that. Actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever you want to me. That's fine. That's awesome. I appreciate the communication. But until I see it, it means nothing. So the school system can say, hey, Raven, your daughter's doing ABC. Oh, wow. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me that. Show me. She can multiply two digits by 2 digits. That's awesome. I go and test Skylar. Sky, hey, do this for mommy. Show me how awesome you are. Make your child feel awesome that you're testing them, but you know that you're testing them to see if the school system's being honest with you. Okay? You're no dummy. I'm no dummy. We can test our children in the areas in which their goals are, hopefully smart goals. And you know if they've mastered it or not, right? So don't ever take somebody's word for it. Always test what is being told to you. Don't get what I call the parent lazies, okay? You went to an IEP meeting, it may have gone in your favor. Then we get lazy. Then we say, everything's good. I don't have to do anything else. Everything's straight. They did what I asked them. I can back off. I don't have to worry about it. That's not how it is, okay? So just because something went well one time doesn't mean we should get lazy, okay? We need to always stay proactive. We need to always stay on top of things, because that month or those weeks that your child does not get what's needed and appropriate for them because we all got lazy, us, the teachers, etc., that's our children suffering, not us, not the teachers, the kids. So we don't have the room in this special education arena. And this is coming from the educator in me. This is also coming from the mom in me, that we have to always be proactive. We have to always be on our toes. And even though we hope, and we hope it plays out in this way, that we have this relationship with the team, you always have to be on the alert, okay? Because unfortunately, it's a bureaucracy, basically. It's very political, and I think we know how things go down that road. And it's money based. Okay. I have learned throughout my 13 years of dealing with this myself, not as an educator, that's 18 years, but as a parent and dealing with the special education system and dealing with it with other parents as well. I have found that as much as we want to have that relationship and them want the best for our kids, not one school system that I've come in contact with has ever shown that. Okay. If you think about it, just think about it, because you have all this emotion and adrenaline and all these things going on when we go into an IEP. If you think about it for just a second, what's the first thing that they do? And that's where I stop it. That's why I go in and I control the meeting. I'm the CEO of that meeting and I make sure things get done. Okay. And that's what I teach you. But if you think about it and you go into your IEP meeting, a lot of times it's this like casual conversation for the first like 5-10 minutes. And there's joking and laughing and how wonderful your child is, how amazing they are, what cool thing they did that day. And I mean, just post hearts or something if this happens in your IEP, because it cracks me up. Of your child is just so caring and loving, and they did this today. The day you walked into the IEP meeting, they did something amazing that day. Which I'm not saying our kids don't. I'm not. I'm just saying that they go above and beyond in overwhelming you with all this positivity. And I'm trying to ask you to think ahead and realize it's a tactic. It is a tactic that is learned in human communication by businesses. Okay. Businesses teach ways of communication that manipulate others to get something that they want done, but yet making you feel like nothing happened. Okay. So these are the things I want to wake parents up in and help them to really focus on the issue at hand, which is getting your child what's needed and appropriate, and ignoring all the BS and what I call the horse and pony show that goes on in the IEP meeting. Okay. All that type of stuff doesn't need to be in there. I'm glad you see the positivity in my child. I already know that. I'm their parent. You don't have to tell me. I appreciate it, but that's not why I'm here. That's how you really need to approach it. Okay? Because you're not there to talk about how amazing your child is, and you're not there to talk about how he gave Sally his candy today, or gave Sally a pencil and shared, and all these types of things. You're not there to talk about all those cool things that as parents we want to know, but aren't there at that IEP meeting to discuss. Make sense? You're there to deal with what's needed and appropriate, what services, modifications, and accommodations that your child needs to benefit and to have educational success. Stick with the subject. Don't talk about all those things, because what they're trying to do is get you off track so that your mind goes somewhere else versus on the subject that you're there for. Okay? Okay. I'm done preaching. All right. So I hope you got what I just said. But it bothers me, guys. Stop doing it. Stop falling for their goodness and graciousness of how amazing that you already know that your child is. You're not there to discuss that. Okay? So, when you become, and you will, the CEO of your IEP, you will no longer have that even part of the conversation. Ever. Not in my IEP meeting do I ever really come across your daughter, because Skylar is cool. And the thing is people love her, they hate me. So Skylar's amazing. I love working with Skylar. She's such a great kid. I stop that stuff right then and there, because what I say is, I know she's amazing. I love her to death. She cracks me up. She's completely changed my life. She's made me think of things in a completely different way. She's made me live my life in a way that why care about all these different things? Like kids with autism, they just don't care about what so and so thought, or they just do their thing and they're free and they're not embarrassed. You know what I mean? And that's how I want to live my life. I don't want to live my life based off what other people always think. We're going to be miserable if we do that. So, all these positive things that they say about Skylar, I already know. I think she's awesome, just like your kids are awesome. You don't need to talk about it in your IEP. Okay? Don't talk about it in your IEP. Go into your IEP, say, "Hi, how are you? How are you doing today? Oh, it's so nice to be here. Okay, let's get going." And I mean it. I am serious. Okay. Because literally, this is what they say. "Okay, Raven, where do you want to start?" And I say, "Okay." I usually start with the PT. I want to start with because she's less. She's like the person that I talk to the least because I don't need to talk to her. She's been with Skylar since she was 2. So she tells me the goals. She goes over what's going on. Awesome. What are the new goals? What do you propose? Okay. Thank you for the paper. I'll go home and review it and get back to you. Done. Move on to OT. And that's how I run my meeting. Okay. I always ask them questions. If they ask me a question, I ask them a question back. I answer questions with a question. And I am really big on repeating what they say for clarification because you're recording this meeting. So if somebody says, "Yeah, she's doing really great in PT, she's, holding her core in, she's sitting on a ball and she's sitting up straight, her posture is really good." And so then I repeat that back. "Okay, so what I heard you say is she's doing really good in PT. She's sitting up straight, she's sitting on the ball, her posture is really good. So did I get that right?" Get them to say yes. Okay. And then I move on. Okay. They say what they say. I repeat it back to them. "Is that what you said?" "Yes." Clarification. You understood what they said. What it's called is mirroring. Okay. It's a form of communication that is very effective and a way for you to be efficient in your goal. Okay. And to get information, what I call the hunt and gather. And you're gathering information from what they are delivering you. Okay. And this is important. And when you go back and listen to your recordings, which I'll do that in another tip of the week, um, you'll see where I'm getting at as far as why you are mirroring the person who's talking. Okay. It's actually a good tactic to do with your spouse. So if they say, "It really bothers me when," and then you say, "Oh, what I'm hearing you say is it really bothers me when I do this." And then you want what I call um, empathy. Okay, you want to empathize with them because even though you may not agree, you can still empathize. We all can empathize, right? So you say, "Oh, okay, what I'm hearing you say," the mirror. Then you say, "Oh, I can totally get why that would make you mad." I didn't say sorry. I said, "I can totally get that," which makes somebody feel what? Heard. You do the same thing in that IEP meeting. You repeat back to them by mirroring what they said. You empathize with them if there's a need, and then they feel heard and they're more open to speak with you because there's a safety net there. Make sense? Okay. So, all right. So I see you guys. Okay. So, bottom line, if you send an email that is reasonable, okay, and is something that you feel you need because of ABC, and you have a question, you can send me the question and I can say, "Okay, yeah, definitely send that email," or "No, don't send that email." Or if you send this email, you need to do this, 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 and this. Okay. So I want you guys to pay more attention to how you are writing your emails. Okay. Be more specific. If there's something that is in order, always do things in order. If 1 happened first, 2 happened second, 3 happened third, then you need to do things in chronological order. It helps people understand and remember things that have transpired. And then if you feel the need, if this is your like second email, then you're more than welcome to put law into it. okay? And that this is required. And that if you have to take other steps appropriate, you don't have a problem doing that. But you really want the team to agree and work with you. But if you have to take other steps, you will. Okay. Um, so what you're doing there is you're letting them know, hey, if you're not going to abide by what my rights are, my child's rights are, and what IDEA states, and you're just going to go off your so-called policies, which isn't even state law, and state law has to be equal to IDEA, if not better. Okay, so they cannot just make up these school policies and think that that's going to coincide with your special education child, special needs child. Okay. They don't go together. Okay. So, for example, yes, your child has to follow school policies. However, if the impact of disability creates where they do go against that policy, then there's an argument there. So if a child has these behavior issues, they go against school policy and they get suspended, they can only be suspended for up to 10 days and then FAPE has to take hold and has to come back into play. The school has no say about that. So there's if your child did something like bring a knife or a gun or something like that to school, they can be suspended up to 45 days. But still, after 10 days, FAPE has to take place. So if they're suspended for 45 days, then the school has to provide services to your child somewhere else. Okay. So always know there's the 10-day rule as far as that's concerned. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. That was the tip of the week. If you send emails based off things that are needed and appropriate, things that are reasonable, and you have ABC or 1, 2, 3 in your reasoning of why you need it, why it's appropriate, why your child would benefit from it educationally, and it would create a better atmosphere, a safer atmosphere, and more communication, better communication between you and the team, then that is reasonable. And you can request for communication to be sent to you in more than a quarterly basis and more than a quarterly basis. And depending on what it is, I'm just going off the email that I got, but whatever it is, it's probably not unreasonable, and schools need to open up, get rid of that one size fits all and that uncomfortable feeling that they have because they may or may not have done certain things, and then they feel uncomfortable. It's kind of like when we do something for the first time, we're like nervous and, feeling uneasy about it. Well, a lot of times school systems who don't adhere to the law because whatever the situation is there in that county, then they will abuse the fact that they don't know the law, the parents don't know the law, and policy just takes hold. But when parents start learning what's needed and appropriate for their kids, they learn the law, and then they learn to go into the IEP meeting and become the CEO, then that's different. Okay. So get me when I say you can learn the law, you can learn the rules, you can go to attitude, you can go to parents and all these different things. You can learn about your child's disability, you can research about your child's ability, you could become the PhD in Google and get a PhD in Google because you've researched so much. And it's amazing that most of us parents have all that knowledge. But if you don't know how to put that knowledge into works, and to go into the IEP meeting, become the CEO. And I say become the CEO because if you don't become the CEO, then you're not in charge of that meeting. You're not confident. You're not holding things together. You're not getting things done. And the whole point of the IEP meeting is to go in there, get your point across, negotiate, persuade, and get your child, bottom line, what is needed and appropriate for them to have educational success. Bottom line, that is the goal, to get your child what's needed and appropriate for them to have educational success, to not have regression, to not have lack of appropriate instruction, to have qualified teachers, and to have all the rights that are should be a given that are given to them though per IDEA and given to us as parents to find out more as to what is going on and to get more information as far as progress reports, getting things in the mail, getting things in an email, and having that proper communication. Okay. Because if we don't, which is why I tell you to request quarterly IEP meetings, is you need to stay on top of these things. Okay. That's the reason, the whole reason to have quarterly IEP meetings. Okay. So I got to hop off here because I told my group I would go and do a watch party at 9 o'clock. So I got to hop off here. But the whole point of tonight, Monday tip of the week, is emails. When you request something from the school, number one, honestly, two, you also have to know how to write an email. And knowing how to write the school an email is not how you would write me an email. Hey, Raven, how are you? I hope everything's going good. I hope you had a good week. I hope you had a good weekend, blah, blah, blah. What's going on? How are you? Et cetera, et cetera. You don't write emails to the school system like that. They have to be very professional, direct, to the point, no emotion. Emotion gets in the way. It's a distraction and it's a bad, bad, bad thing. Okay. When it comes to special education, emotion is bad. Okay. Have your emotion at home. Have your emotion with friends. Go out and have some wine, have some beer, whatever you got to do to go do yoga. But you cannot have emotion in that IEP, and you cannot put emotion into an email. Okay. All right. So I got that going. Anybody have questions? All right. So Carol says hi. Michelle, Staten Island. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Carol, you're in Richmond. I'm in Fredericksburg. Okay. So Joy says hello. Congrats. Now we only have to pay you live screen our IEP meeting. Well, yeah, you actually can. I can zoom into an IEP meeting. I do it all the time. So should we bring printing those emails out? Yeah, of course. You should print all your emails out and put them in your binder. But a lot of people also create folders in like Google Docs, and like you can create itemized folders in Google Docs and put everything into there, which is fine. However, I always say have it in both places, because you can't take Google Docs with you to the school. So you want to have stuff in Google Docs if you'd like, or Dropbox, whatever you use. And then you also want to print it out and have it itemized with your 3-ring binder and your dividers, so that when you go into your IEP meeting, you can bring your documents, okay, and have that in front of you. And what I call the blueprint, which is huge, 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 huge. Okay. So a lot of my parents that I work with, I give them how they write their blueprint and what they need to do there. Okay. So I do want to talk to you guys about something really quick. Is my text messaging service will be up the end of the week, like I talked about in the beginning. But if you're needing something and you're needing questions answered and you're really needing something kind of right now, or you want me to look at an email or whatever, then I'm doing Venmo until it's set up. Okay. Because Venmo is trackable. I'm able to print out like a statement, at the end of the year kind of thing. So that's important. And so you can PM me and say, hey, Raven, I want to do 4 text messages a month, which is $20. Or I want to do 8 text messages a month, which is $40. And whatever it is you choose is fine. And just message me and then we'll set something up. And then I'll give you the phone number that you can text, and then we'll talk and you get my one-on-one attention. Okay. And then I also am getting ready, and I haven't been providing this until recently, is I am now writing emails for parents. I give them a 1-hour consultation, and then I will write an email for them in reference to what it is they're having difficulty with, so that the email's direct, non-emotional, etc. But then they also get me for an hour as well for very reasonable price. I also am offering where I'm reviewing IEPs now. You get a 1-hour consultation. I'm reviewing IEPs, and then I'm giving you my feedback based off what you've told me within the hour, in reference to your IEPs. So I'm also doing that. All this will be on my website. My amazing assistant and friend is working on it, and that will be on my website. It should be by the end of the week. So, but again, I am doing the text messaging service. People are doing it now. And because they asked me, hey, is there a way for us to take advantage of that? And I said, sure. And so we're going ahead and going with that. So that's it for tonight. That's the tip of the week. I know I always go longer than I should. I'm really trying to keep my tip of the weeks between 15 and 30 minutes, but for some reason, I have not accomplished that goal yet. And as you know, Thursday nights is the content. And that is this Thursday night at 8 p.m. And then always on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm holding watch parties for my group. And that's where I'm not talking. You actually are watching the live video that I just previously did. And I'm able to pop on live where you can see my face. And I'm also able to answer questions right then and there as you're watching and you have questions. So it's kind of cool. I like it. And so, yeah, we'll go from there. So hopefully you guys got something out of tonight and you got something out of the fact that you can write emails, you have a right, you don't be intimidated by the fact that they said no. And that's normal. That's what's called a gatekeeper. There's always gatekeepers. Their job is to say no always. And that's what they do. Okay. So you just have to learn how you come back and how we move forward. With the IEP, just let me tell you something. With the IEP, it's not a kind of thing. All right. It just doesn't happen like that. As impatient as we are of people, okay, and how imperfect we are, it's important to understand that with the IEP, there's no immediate thing that's going to happen. All right. They're not going to just wake up out of their bed and say, let me address this real quick. All right. Typically, what happens is they go talk to everybody and then they come get back to you after they create their plan of action. That's why I try to teach you, you need to create your plan of action. So you have to understand the whole dynamics of how things work. Okay. So have a good night, guys. I don't really see any questions unless I'm missing something. So I'm guessing you guys kind of are good. Because I have to head over to the group and answer questions. If I see questions on here, you are so welcome. You know who I'm talking to. Hopefully I answered your question and I am going to message you back. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Again, if you have questions, let me know. But I wanted to make sure I addressed that because I had actually got quite a few messages in reference to emails and the responses back and them not being what you wanted. And that's pretty normal and just expect that. Okay. So have a good night. I will talk to you guys on Thursday, unless you want to come join us tomorrow night over on the group for the 30-minute question and answer. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful night. And if you're wanting to have me with questions and that sort of thing over on the group, come join us. See you later.